on the ICTP Global. Scott, Charlotte is from Public Information Office in ICTP at ICTP, and I established online alumni, that is PARC ICTP Alumni Association. And then ICTP decided to copy that to a global alumni of ICTP affiliate, and she's leading that team. So we are doing these global kind of science portal, and this is for fall, this is our first activity. And next week, there will be a lecture by Ralph Kaiser, and we will be having, and we will also invite you for some time to give a scientific talk.
Very
Right?
good.
Excellent.
Thank you, and Charlotte. It's
You're
nice.
welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So-
lovely to meet you. So basically, we're going to be doing quite a few of these talks, right? I think Imrana would like to say some of this, but yes, I'll pass you over to Imrana in a second.
No,
But the
no, no.
idea, the
Yeah,
idea
you
of
can
basically
go ahead.
these talks is to actually have these kind of discussions in a way that's actually really useful for the community. So to choose particular topics that are really relevant to the ICTP community at large, and to kind of mix between having scientific talks and then also having talks that are more about issues related to the science community. So this one, it's really important because this one is going to be about outreach, which is something that's really, I think, a really key part of what ICTP does. And so you have Physics Without Frontiers and a few programs here, and then also several people who are actually doing kind of scientific outreach in their own communities. And it's quite nice to actually get people to share tips and tricks and things that they've done and experience that they've had, because it's such a big part of what we do, basically. And so that basically effectively lets us know what we're doing here. This one is going to be an outreach talk, and then the next thing that we're going to be doing is a talk from Ralph Kaiser, who's going to be discussing scientific careers, which is a pretty hot topic. So that's going to happen this time next week, basically. And he's going to be effectively talking to, I think, particularly early career scientists, and just saying, look, this is how you kind of navigate the changing scientific career landscape. And so we're quite excited about that as well. But this one, it was important to do the first one with Imrana because she's got so much experience, and she's effectively the godmother of the portal. So
That's really
Thanks
great.
a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot.
okay, brilliant. So while we're waiting for people, just like to say a little bit about the format. So what we're going to do
Yeah.
is
Do you think
Imrana's
I'm-
just going to share a little bit of what her experience has been. So basically, Imrana's going to show a few slides and then introduce her outreach team, and then we're going to go through effectively a Q&A of the kind of things that we want to actually have people to say. And there are some people who'll be able to come on the time, some people won't be able to come, and we're going to record so that we can use this for the portal community afterwards, so people can see this. And also, Imrana, if we could have your slides, that would be amazing.
Sure, because you know that it was a
because there's a
big
lot
file.
in
I will do, I'll try to send it by via Google Gmail. Let's see,
Yeah.
otherwise I will share with the Dropbox. Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
you will have my
Absolutely
slide
fantastic.
for sure with player.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
we
it's-
still have 8 minutes. I'm always early.
No, you're not.
I'm just thrilled you're early, Imran. It's really nice to see you and catch up.
Yeah. I was yesterday. I was making waffles, and I was thinking about you when we went to Amsterdam, and you took me
Amsterdam.
for the pancakes, and yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice. Yeah.
So when's the last time you guys have seen each other? Before now?
Last year in June in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
And I discovered my uncle in 2023 in Seattle, Tacoma, Seattle, when I went to receive my award. So then I found that I have another uncle in Optica. Yeah.
Wonderful. Brilliant.
Yes, because Scott did PhD with Professor Emil Wolf, and my supervisor also did PhD. with Emil Wolf, but they both are like North and South Poles. They are different. My uncle and my father, both. And maybe Rahman can share the same feeling about me
No, no,
because
I don't have any comments about it.
That is
uh,
incredibly strategic answer.
yeah, because you are far and I will see you next summer. So you are free to say anything you want to say about me. So it's a nice. My volunteers, Zishan is my volunteer. He's working with me from past 1 year. And then one of the new Hamna joined now. And the rest I'm waiting because I told them to join at 6. So we have, I sent them, Zishan, you can send them a message that join. I sent them a message. Uh, it is a working day and it's almost evening, and you know that things
Yeah.
are like this in the developing countries.
Well, also, so how many people are in your team that are going to be joining us
Look,
today to
it's
talk?
Rahman was the first one. At that time, Rahman and two girls. One is already here. Her name is Adila Rahman. She was my research student at that time in 2016 when we established this. But if you all will listen everything now, what I will say during.
You don't want to spill everything now, do you?
Yes, and
Yeah.
Adila and Sidra and Rahman were with me, three of them. So Rahman was doing most of the things because those two were girls. We did an international workshop on optics and photonics. We invited so many speakers from abroad. And then there were students from Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, Malaysia. So three of them were taking care of pick and drop and on kind of logistics. And when we finished that activity, suddenly it seems that there is nothing to say because that was a really difficult time. We at that time there was a protest in the middle of Islamabad and Rawalpindi, and our auditorium was having repair, and everybody was saying, "Why don't you book another auditorium?" I said, "I don't have money, number one, and I'm not. If it will happen, it will happen here." So it happened, but that was a very stressful period because if you have invited a foreign speaker, their security, then foreign participants. So it was a lot. So four of us were really, really on our toes. So, but we managed that. Joe was here, Umberto was here, the people you know. And there were one from Iran, Ali Raza Muradi. He's also an ICTP affiliate. Parvez Elahi. Then we have one speaker from Malaysia and one student from who's president of Optica student chapter from St. Petersburg. So it was really nice. And then we started these activities. Those two girls got married in 2018. But and one did MPhil and finished. Adila, she's on present, and Sidra completed her PhD later, but she was staying with her in-laws in Kashmir. But
Okay.
Rahman, poor Rahman, he was always with me because I used to tell Rahman, it is in Islamabad. You have to meet me at 8 sharp under Pakistan Monument in Islamabad. So he used to be there. And there are many different meeting points for Rahman and I. I did 2 or 3 KPK activities with him. One we did in, so what is the time? 1 more minute. So rest I will tell you. Yeah,
Yeah. You can tell us the rest.
yeah, you can,
Then, and what
yeah,
I'm
you
going to
will.
do, I'm going to keep the chat open. So basically, like if people have questions or anything, I think also like after you've shown the slides, I think also it would be nice that I think people can keep because there might not be that many people here. If there aren't that many people, actually everyone can keep their sound on. And if people want to jump in, I think we could
Okay.
run it a bit like that. But if people would like, if anyone wants to drop something in the chat, then they can do so. I'm admitting people now. Um,
Okay, you can
So people are
start.
starting to
You
come in
can give
now.
yeah. So I will.
So I suppose what I'll do, I can like maybe give a little bit of an introduction, and then we'll
Yeah.
have the introduction um, for the meeting. So basically, this is the first in the autumn series of Global Science Portal talks, and I think it's only right to kick everything off with Imrana Ashraf, who is the godmother of the portal. She's basically had so much of an input on how the Global Science Portal has developed over the last year, because Imrana's got so much experience on running an alumni society, and also knows how to connect people across the globe, which I think you're going to say a little bit about. So when we were talking about the first talk for this series, it was just completely logical to go with Imrana and also to discuss the outreach that she's doing in Pakistan, both with other people, with a big team, and with universities and also with schools. And so the way we're going to run this today is that it's very informal. So basically, Imran is going to show a few slides and just explain a little bit about the kind of things that she's been doing in outreach with her team. And then we're going to introduce the rest of the team, and then we're going to run a little bit of a discussion, and I'm going to have a few questions for everyone there. So, and then anyone who wants to speak up or speak in or write on the chat, then you're more than welcome to do so. Okay, so Imrana, we're on 1 minute
Okay.
past. So do you want to?
Yeah, I'm going to share my slides.
Fantastic.
So, yeah. Okay. So now you and Rahman are taking care of people who are coming on. So are you
Sure.
able to see my slides?
Yes.
Is it okay, or I will do it in a slide mode?
I think you can put it in a slide mode. It would be much better.
Sure. Continue to share. Okay. Right. So we decided to give this talk title, Outreach on a Budget. So it's educational outreach, gender equity in Pakistan, my experience doing with this. Okay. I'm not able to do my next slide. Why? It's stuck.
You're going to have to click on the screen and then press next.
Okay, but it is not working. Okay, it's okay. So what is our objective? To explore the role of optics outreach in developing countries like Pakistan, and the transformative impact it can have on education, community engagement, and national development. So Pakistan's current standing in education. Pakistan ranks among the worst performing countries in education, highlighted during the Oslo Education Summit 2015. Pakistan has the second highest number of out-of-school children in the world after Nigeria. Nearly 22.5 million children are out of school. Two-thirds of these out-of-school children are girls. According to the Constitution of Pakistan, the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 5 to 16 in such a manner as may be determined by law. But this is a constitution, but if it is a free education, it doesn't mean that they are providing books and uniform and transportation charges. So where is the girls' education has much worse. Females are about 49.2% of the total population. There is a gender imbalance at all levels of education. The out-of-school rate for primary age girl is 32% compared to 21% for boys. So by grade 6, 59% of girls versus 49% of boys are out of school. By grade 9, merely 13% of young female are still enrolled in school. What are the issues? Poverty is the fundamental barrier for girls' education. Then there is a belief that girls should not be educated. Then there is a lot of gender discrimination. Families prefer boys' education to ensure a better economic future for the family. Accessibility, for example, our Balochistan province is very big, and there are few schools here and there in the remote areas. So girls are unable to attend school because they cannot afford the cost of transportation. And if they are going by walk, they can feel harassment. Then there are social norms in different communities that vary significantly across different communities. Balochistan, you can see, has 78% of out-of-school girls. FATA, the Federal Administrative Tribal Area, has 74%. Then when you are moving towards Sindh, it is 61%. Gilgit-Baltistan is 53%. Azad Jammu Kashmir is 52%. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is 51%. Punjab is better than all other provinces. It has 40%, and Capital Territory Islamabad has only 11% are out of school girls. So the issue is how and where to start, because outreach refers to activities and programs designed to bring sciences, particularly optics, to students, teachers, and the general public, often outside of traditional classroom settings. So my group divide our outreach activities in 4 categories. First category is reach out to government girls' school and colleges to do optics outreach activities. Second is reach out undergraduate students, boys and girls in public sector university to do optics outreach activities. My university, Quaid-e-Azam University, is also a public sector university, and we are co-education. The third outreach is online, that is reach out to undergraduate and graduate student in physical sciences to help them virtually or online. This is referring to PAK ICTP Alumni Society that we established during COVID. So it was established in January 2021, and we were doing online scientific talks. So we will cover this topic on some other event. So the fourth is the reach out transgender community and educate them about decent option to lead their respective lives. So why focus on light and optics? The United Nations designated 2015 as International Year of Light and Light-Based Technology. So optics is a branch of physics that studies light and interaction with matter. Light is central to science, technology, art, and culture. Optics is a perfect tool for outreach. It is visual, hands-on, accessible, can be taught using simple low-cost material with high impacts. That's why we selected optics, because student can see, they can play. Every student once in his or her life has seen rainbow, especially in Islamabad. So these are photographs of some of the outreach activity we did. On the left-hand side, there was an optics fair in connection with the International Day of Light. I think it was in 2019. So we invited a private school, and there were 2 public sector schools were present. So as you can see, their students are overcrowded, and our photographer went on the rooftop to take this photo. And similarly for the below, also this is another optics fair we did last year, because this year during the International Day of Light, we wanted to do 2 days optics fair, one for the school and the other one for the undergraduate student. But unfortunately, during that period, we have some tension between Pakistan and India, and we were not able to do that optics fair, but it is still in our planning, and we will do it in November. So rest, the top is little girls from grade 5 and 6. Then there is an activity in the University of Wa. In that university, there were almost the whole strength of the physics department was around 200 or more than that, girls and boys, but girls were more than boys. So the day it was Rahman and I, we visited there. So the chairman of that department asked, all classes were closed, and they asked all the students to be present in our activities. And this is only one group photo. Actually, to capture all those 200 students, we took, I think, 4 or 5 of these photographs. And this is from a school in Wa. And Adila, my student who is volunteer, who is present in this meeting that we did in her school. So these are some girls. It is the interference, simple way of seeing interference. You can see this is in from Fatma Jana Women University. I'm doing this total internal reflection in a glass slender. These are the girls from Hunza, northern area. We recently made a visit to northern area of Pakistan. I will tell you about the challenges because it is by road you can reach Gilgit in almost 18 hours if you use this Silk route or Karakoram highway. And we managed to go there by plane. This time I was trying to reach there from past 3 years. And this time we managed in by the end of April. We were there. Weather was good because the Gilgit airport is very tricky. If there is a small patch of cloud present in valley, plane cannot land at that airport, and it returned back to Islamabad. So we had been lucky to land it there. We did 4 activities, but it was the period when we started having tension between India and Pakistan, and the flight operation in Gilgit and Skardu were suspended. That was the thing I never predicted or expected because usually weather is or the technical issue with this ATR kind of plane is the common problems related with reaching to Gilgit by air. So, but this thing happened and we needed to come back by road. 16 hour, it took that time, 16 hours to come back home. So there are problems reaching in different areas. You can see the rest of these girls are doing total internal reflection, critical angle, and color swapping, these kind of things which we do. So these are again the photographs. I have so many photographs because of so far we are done with 91 outreach activity. 60 when the first 60 activities I did with the Rahman, and of course Adila and Sidra were present, Shazib was present, and Sana, many my research student always volunteered me. And this Masad Qayyum is still with me, and he's a very really good. He did almost 30 outreach activities in past 3 years with me. So he's not my research student, but when Rahman left in December 2020, so, these 3 boys came to me and they said, "Ma'am, we want to be your right hand in these activities." So I was so happy to have them, and they are really helping me always. And then we, sometime when we are going to universities that are for example, in Sawat or Swabi, and sometimes we have a large group of students to teach. So then we have limited times for session because if we are making a one-day trip or even if we are staying one night there, so there are limited time for sessions. You cannot teach, or they cannot, 200 students cannot do hands-on experiment with limited kits I have. So for that challenges, we plan to maximize the use of available time. Practical demonstration we know that are essential for understanding optics. Every student must have the opportunity to experience them firsthand. So the one innovative approach we actually Masad Qayyum came with is using webcam. So we used iron webcam to link mobile cameras with laptops and projected live feeds on the large screens for real-time demonstration. So on the right-hand side, you can see a picture in which I am doing an experiment. One of my students is holding a smartphone, and that smartphone is connected with his laptop, and laptop is connected with a projector. So if anybody has any question or if they are not able to follow it for the first time, I always repeat those demonstration. In this way, we can reach reach a large group of participants. So this is a cartoon. On the left-hand side here, the same thing is depicted, that there are mobile phones. I'm doing some experiment, or one of my group member is doing experiment. The other one is projecting that on the laptop, and laptop is connected with the multimedia. So these are those photos we do by using this webcam. That you can see here, this is on the projector. This is a diffraction from a slate. You can see the total internal reflection converging from a lens, and this is again total internal reflection. And you can see this is a process Masad I'm performing. Masad is capturing it on his mobile, and then you can see it on the laptop and projected on the screen. So this is a cheap and easy thing to do if you are doing one-day outreach with a large group of participants. So these are the optics outreach in 2023. We did almost 10 activities with different areas, and you can see these are in, some of them are in Quaid-e-Azam University, because it's easy to do it in Quaid-e-Azam University, as we have a good auditorium that can be become dark if we switch off all the lights. And then we have a teaching lab in which these students can do hands-on. Then we visited International Islamic University, the female campus, Fatmaya University, Rawalpindi University, Mardan and Swabi and University of Swat. These three universities are in KPK, that is the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, that has a long border with Afghanistan, and it is always a security risk to go there. But as you can see, that mostly in those areas we are visiting universities, because it is easy to reach, comparatively easy to reach universities. Otherwise, if you plan to go to a high school, then you need a lot of permission and a lot of protocols to go there. So that is a restriction to reach high schools in KPK. So then in 2024, we did again 10 outreach activities, and some of them were follow-up activities, like the university that are based in twin city of Islamabad and Rawalpindi. It's easy to go there uh, uh, every semester to see the follow-up. And then we did for one-day optics workshop for boys campus, because mostly we were visiting International Islamic University in Islamabad female campus, because they don't have any teaching lab. So I think we made 3 or 4 visits there. But then they said that our boys are very upset, so you should come and do one-day workshop with boys. So we did that, because I'm a educator. I should not discriminate between girls and boys, but I of course prefer girls to. And then all these activities are done different parts of Islamabad and Rawalpindi. Then in 2024, we are done with 11 activities so far, because initially this year we went to Azad Jammu and Kashmir. The part of Kashmir Pakistan has is, we call it free part of Kashmir, and the other part as an occupied part of Kashmir. So, and same thing is with India, they call their part of Kashmir as free, and the part of Kashmir we have as occupied. So we went to the Mirpur University of Science and Technology, and we did, because we stayed one night there, so we did 3 activities back and back. There was a Beacon House school. Usually I don't like going to private school, because I don't like attitude of their student. They don't appreciate much, and that's why I prefer public sector girls' school, colleges, and universities. So then we did 2 activities in our university. Then we went to Gilgit. So the only one volunteer came with me, because the airfare is quite high. So I took only Masad with me. So we actually planned 5 activities in 5 days. But the last day, on the 1st of May, because everything was closing down because of the tension between Pakistan and India, so we rushed back. But we managed to do 4 activities. And the best activity we did is the Aga Khan Higher Secondary School for Girls in Hunza, which is almost 2 hours drive from Gilgit. And it was really, those girls were really, really amazing. And it was, you can see that even they arranged this activity in their cafeteria, and different kind of curtains were hanging on all those windows. So these are things, and we understand because we live in Pakistan. So these are the glimpses of some activities we did in Mirpur and in Gilgit and Hunza. So these are, and one of the activity is a workshop on Michelson interferometer and Fourier optics. 4 of my students, Masad, Zishan, Fatma, and Kainat, they demonstrated Michelson interferometer for our undergrad students, and Zishan did Fourier optics. So these are the kits that I got from Thor Lab. They're educational kits, so it was nice to have these workshop. Okay, so right. Sorry. Okay, these are the activities we did. So what are the challenges to do? Lack of coordination with local education authorities makes scheduling and permission time intensive, because if you want to go to school, or they need to get permission from the education department, and sometimes it takes a lot of time, and during that time something happen in the country and we are not able to make it possible, because sometimes it is security risk, sometimes it is a political issue, sometimes there is rain and flash flood. Like in this summer, we really had many flash floods, and many roads in Kashmir and northern areas are damaged. So it is hard to reach there if you plan to go there. So, but we always reschedule those activities on a later date. So shortage of laboratory facilities in school and colleges. So they don't have basic optical instrument. I can understand that for a public sector or government schools, but sometimes I feel bad about the private school that they opt for alternate to practical. That is a theoretical subject. They can buy those optics kits. It's not very expensive for them because they are charging a lot of fee. And but public sector schools and government, I can understand because there is a limited budget. So if we are going there, for example, as I mentioned to you, when I went with Masad to Gilgit, so it is accommodation cost, traveling cost, and then going to Hunza and going to other schools, and it was a lot of funding was required. We managed it because from past 2 years, not this year, but in 2023 and 2024, I got SPI outreach grant that was $3,500. So we managed these 10 activities in remote areas, but we were not very lucky for 2025, but we managed. So then there are conservative regions, as you know, that we went to University of Swat. Swat is the same region where our Nobel Prize winner Malala Yousafzai belonged. So it is really a difficult area to reach, and I requested my husband to drive there because people are a bit conservative, and I went with Masad and Samal there. So sometime when we make one-time visit, for example, like Swat, we are planning to go there again, but now again there are not very security situation between Afghanistan and Pakistan is not very good, so we need to postpone that trip. But you cannot see the long-term impact assessment. We should have done that, but if you are going there, it's 6 hours drive from Islamabad to Swat. So we went there, we stayed 2 nights and we came back, but you cannot assess those, that is there any good impact on students after we left. So these are the challenges we have. So far we reached these public sector university, and you can see some of the universities we repeated multiple times. For example, 6 times we went to Fatma Jana University in Rawalpindi. Even Joe, I think once or twice Joe went with us. Women University in Swabi, that is in KPK. Women University in Mardan. Rawalpindi Women University, we visited. University of International Islamic University, female campus, we visited 4 times. University of Swat, you can see it only 1 time. Karakoram International University, that is in Gilgit-Baltistan, northern area of Pakistan, we visited 1 time. Pir Meher Ali Shah Arid University, it is in Rawalpindi, we visited there. And I'm sorry, I forgot to put Mirpur University. There are so many institutes that we visited that I can miss some schools and this thing. These are the public sector school, these Islamabad model colleges for girls. There are 150 branches in Islamabad. So it is hard to go. I wish that I can manage to go to all those branches at least once, but it is really hard at times because there are 150 branches of these model colleges for girls. So we went to Sir Syed College campus, Government Postgraduate College for Women, Wakarun Nisa, Aga Khan Higher Secondary School, Gilgit, and Hunza. These are the private school usually, which are not my favorite, but we managed to some trips to them. And the most recent one on 7th October was the Future World School and College in Islamabad. So these are the institute we reached so far. What we have. So we have two Optica suitcase because we have Optica student chapter in Department of Physics, Qaid-e-Azam University. I have Explore Optics kits given by SPI. So I think we have 10 kits. And then we have SPI light block kits. There I have 4, I think. Photonic Explorer kits that I received from ICTP with the help of Joe. I have 10 kits and they are really good. You can do many things with these Photonic Explorer kits. They have many good experimental setups. So Thor Lab Education Kit on Michelson interferometer and Fourier optics. Helium neon laser, we have an open system. So for students, then we have spectral digital camera. This is given by John Howell. He bring that, it's a big mix project. He brought this one set for me at ICTP this year. So I have that one. We have a couple of Raspberry Pis. That is again from ICTP. Then I have 3D printed Michelson, Mach Zehnder, and quantum eraser done by ICTP Science Fab Lab. And its optics is provided by Thor Labs. And I'm really thankful to Optica, SPI, ICTP, and Thor Lab and Science Fab Lab at ICTP. So my thanks to ICTP, Optica, SPI, ICO, Thor Lab, Science Fab Lab, and thanks to all of you for being here today. So I'm open for questions.
Okay, well, I think we'll start this up. So thank you very much. I'd just like to say thank you, Imrana, because, sorry. I'd just like to say thank you very much, Imrana, for saying all of this and for, I think, for giving us such a useful window into what you've been doing. So while we're kind of people, so anyone can if anyone has any questions right now, otherwise we have some questions that we've collected from the Institute. So does anyone have anything they'd like to say right now? You can uncomment. Let's see, you might have to unmute yourselves. Yeah. Okay, I tell you what, I will start it off then before we have anything on the chat. So we actually talked, so Imrana and I talked a bit about this yesterday and about the key points that we'd like to get across to people who are just kind of either starting out with outreach or in the same kind of position as Imrana. One of the interesting things was that I want to know is how did you build relationships with these universities and schools? Like, how did you start off doing that? Because for someone who is working at a university, like an early career scientist who wants to do this, how would you suggest they go about it?
Look, the first of all, there were two big changes in my life in 2015. So it was UNESCO designated it as an International Year of Light to appreciate light and light-based technologies. And we did one active learning in optics and photonics UNESCO program in Islamabad in 2015 at the National Center for Physics. So it was all based on optics, and I was the facilitator of one module. So that gave me an idea that I can take that to these institute, because optics is comfortable for students. It's very comfortable. It's fun to do and fun to see. So, and the second thing that happened during 2015 was that I was diagnosed with my chronic illnesses. So that was the right time. I decided that if I want to do something for female, this is the right time, because I don't know with these kind of chronic illnesses that how much time you have or how much normal time you have. You never know. So this thing with I discussed with Joe when I was there in 2016 for Winter College on Optics. And I discussed everything with him, and he said, okay, you can start that for the female. So I get few things from there. And then my department, because I studied from the same department, and then I was working there as an educator. So when I came back, I discussed with one of my collaborator, Dr. Rahil Ali. I asked him to join today. So he's with me. But at that time, things were very reachable, you can say. That it was active learning in optics group was a personal initiative. It was self-funded. And it was under the umbrella of ICTP, because Joe was trying to give me some kits which he's buying for different winter college on optics, or it's few spectra kits like American Physical Society. He got hold of some kits and he gave it to me. So then we started initially how I built this relation. We invited different government school for 1 day activity in our university. So that was the starting point. Most of those outreach activities we were doing on campus in our department. We were using our teaching lab. The days when there is no teaching labs are not needed by our classes. So we are doing that. Initially, we started it, but then we reached out, mostly we reached out to the school and colleges, these IMCG colleges in Islamabad. So people are coming and they enjoyed it. Then they were always asking that this is a small group of girls, but we have a lot of girls. We want, is it possible for you to come and visit our, because that is more easy for them. But the problem was for optics, we need dark room to enjoy it. We need that you have some kind of room which you can make dark according to your experiment, and so that student can enjoy. And most of these institute don't have that kind of facilities. Some try to put some curtains, and we did many outreach activity in these government school. And of course, I did one initial outreach activity in my daughter's school, which always Rahman is very critical about that I said, okay, it was a disaster because they don't pay attention. And their teacher was interested. And that's I gathered this thing that I can say it in a way that government school teachers have permanent position. They don't care. they're if their girls are obedient, they want to learn, they don't have an opportunity. And these private school are totally, students are kind of brats because they know they don't need these things. When they were doing this Cambridge or Oxford exam, they will opt for alternate to practical, so they don't need any lens to see or laser or anything. So we decided that we will not do many activities with the private school. So in this way, we are inviting. At some places we went, and then it spread like to all universities. And then another thing is that these activities is for girls, and in most of these newly established university, Qaidin students are teacher now. The students who graduated from Qaid-e-Azam universities are now teaching in these universities. So they are early career scientists and or educators. So for them to ask me to come and do one outreach activity put a very good impression on their dossier. So I support those students too. And so this is how they are now. Initially, we were inviting them or they were inviting. Now they are always insisting that we will come or invite us. So, or all the time they, for example, for this optics fair, 2 days optics fair, we designed it for 13th and 14th of May, which was not possible because university was closed because of this tension between India and Pakistan. Then we moved it to October 16th and 17th last week. So, but there was a protest and roads were closed. We stopped, moved it to November. And all this because on the first day we are having 200 school children of grade 8 and 9 because that is the right time and age to motivate them for science. When they are in grade 8 and 9, they can absorb it very well. And the second day we planned to invite 7 universities. We asked them to bring only 10 or maximum 15 students. And everybody insisted, no, ma'am, kindly accommodate 20, 25. They all want that. So it is how we are doing these things. So we
It
get
sounds
like,
like it's quite difficult. So it sounds like it's quite difficult to say no because now you're at a point where
yeah,
so many people are
exactly.
asking you.
Yeah, because I usually, because if it's on me and if I can manage, I never say no to anyone who needs, because it was my initiative. So I have to be with it in thick and thin. I had been very lucky that I have lots of volunteers. But if there was no volunteer, I have decided that I will do that. Because when Rahman left for Saget for his postdoc, I literally have no one. But I was planning activity, and I'm so lucky these Masad, Usama, and Ayaz, Samal, they joined me and they came to me by themselves. And now these many students are coming by themselves. They are not my research student. I haven't taught them in past years, but they come and they want to be a volunteer. So this is that in this sense, I'm very lucky. So if one of my student wants to comment, Rahman, Zishan, Adila, anyone?
Can we
So
hear
how
from
many?
someone about what it's like working with Imrana?
Yeah, Nimra and
Uh,
Hamna
I
has
think
joined recently.
I
Yeah,
can
Rahman.
add 1 or 2 points. Although Dr. Imrana has covered almost all the aspect of this one, I was her MPhil student, and then I was her PhD student as well. Uh, Half of my PhD work was done at ICTP Italy as well. It was really amazing working with her. It was really amazing. And this whole initiative that she introduced in her topic and in the slides, she was the brains. I was just a student. You can say, I had nothing to do. Then I joined her. And when I literally uh, went to the universities, especially the female university, then I realized that this is something I had to do. And even when I came here in Szeged during my first presentation, I put some slides and I mentioned that this is the part of my work I'm really proud of, besides the scientific part as well. I would just like to add 1 or 2 comments. I put it here on my notebook that, of course, we cannot do most of the stuff for the female students, specifically for the female student in remote areas, but of course we can do something. It's better than nothing. The most important thing for them, if we can somehow convince them to continue their studies and most of the time it's not enough just to say them, but just to provide them the important information, how they can get some kind of funding to initiate something on their own, and for the young students to get some good position in good universities in Europe. For that, I think we should convey not conventionally. I mean, I believe that still in remote areas of Pakistan, they don't have this access of social media as we have in other parts of Pakistan and Europe. So we can convey the information, we can provide them the reference letter, and we can actually convince them that they should apply in different universities. The whole goal of this initiative is that it should be long lasting. It's not that if we stop going there and it stops. The only way is to just the students can come out and then they go back. They bring something with them. And this system and this whole initiative stays as it is. Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant. That's like, but can you think of anything, can you think of any times of any examples where you've gone to places and you've had these kind of interactions with female students and been able to either convince them to go on, or you felt that you could say something that would be helpful?
So yeah, in a way, I can say that, for example, Dr. Imrana is she has quite a name in these universities. So if the persons who are in at important position in different universities, if they want some students, they can send this information to Dr. Imrana. She can spread this information, and they can select some students, even 1 or 2 students from these remote areas. That's really important, from the remote areas. They can come there and they can make an example. Okay, one student came from a very remote area of Pakistan. He got an admission in a very good university, and later he or she can go back and convince many other students, female students. The problem, it's not only the financial support. The problem is the culture here, the cultural problem here as well. I mean, most of the parents, they don't want their female students, specifically in the remote areas of Pakistan, they don't want their female students to go out and have a good PhD or even good master's degree. But once they can see some examples, okay, female students are going out and they are coming back and doing good work, they can be their role model, they can be the examples there.
Okay, that's really interesting. So you're actually providing a sense of kind of, I suppose, scientific cultural support for young women who do really want to go out and do,
Yeah,
do a PhD
I
somewhere.
guess that's the whole idea. That's the only way you can make it long lasting.
Can I add something? Because, for example, when we went to, first I went with the Rahman to Sawabi University, and believe me, it was during COVID, but they don't have a lab. They have a kitchen attached with a room, and that kitchen was a kind of lab on paper. They have nothing, not a single lens. So then next time I went with, they moved to our new location, and it was really hard. At that time, Masad was with me, and he was doing Google so that we can find the road. And it's strange that you can have female university outside the city and male university inside the city. It was so far that you can't imagine. So, and those areas are really, they have all the time the security risk, especially the female education. But one good thing, I'm against that they have made so many female universities and they are very close. For example, University of Mardan and Swabi are hardly 30 kilometers far from each other. And both of the universities are having less faculty, 3 or 4 or couple of, and they are running this undergrad program. So instead, I say that if they have made one good university with the hostels and these transportation buses, then it was nice, because they could have 8 faculty member if they add up both those universities. But the problem is, sometimes I notice that those girls cover their faces. They don't want to have photos without any mask. We got some photos when I visited this Sawabi University, the new campus, and I posted it on our Facebook. And then someone contacted Rahman that kindly asked ma'am to remove this photo because she was not wearing a hijab. But whenever I go to these university, I tell them that that's not a kind of problem that you are wearing a hijab. One day you carry on. You should be thankful to your parents. They have allowed you to come to these university for higher education. This is a blessing. One day you will be financially independent and you will not depend on your husband, not depend on your father. And that's really amazing. So we respect because I know that they have a different kind of culture. So you must respect them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing.
And
So,
by the way, I started actually outreach from ICTP. It was kind of outreach. It was informal teaching from 2000 to 2006. I was helping students mainly from Africa who were the participants of the Winter College on Optics, but they have some issues. And I was doing those sessions, informal session after dinner. So I started my informal teaching from ICTP and it was there. Yeah. So, Zishan, would you like to say, oh, Joe is in the waiting room, but he is not able to join. Okay,
yeah, I
let's,
just tried to join. I tried to get Joe in. I pressed admit.
yeah, I
I
again,
think he is already in
I,
the meeting. I will
yeah,
just
okay.
He keeps
ask him to
trying to
unmute.
like, yeah. We can like, oh, I think we've got him.
Yeah,
Okay, so we can ask Joe, you are late, but we want to listen your opinion about my outreach activity, especially the 2016 when in Islamabad the weather was terrible, 44 centigrade, and there was a security threat. So how was that visit, Joe? No, where is Joe?
Joe's here. We've got a Joe.
Okay,
There we
so
go.
Joe, unmute you, kindly unmute Joe. Okay.
He
What
just
happened?
can't
Joe, unmute
ask to
yourself.
unmute. There you go. The muting thing is
But
an ongoing. Ah, there you go.
Uh, okay.
yeah,
Hi.
I still
Hi,
heard you.
Joe.
Okay. Okay. Hello. Sorry.
Hi, Joe. How you going?
Hello. Hi. How you doing?
hello.
Good. Thank you. I think we want to ask you a couple of questions if you have a mind
Okay.
about your experiences with outreach with Imrana. So which one was it, Imrana? Which was
One
the
was because
activity?
I started in 2016. In summer of 2016, Joe visited Islamabad to attend Natheg Ali Summer College, I think, and
Hmm.
we kidnapped him for one day, and we arranged one activity. Our university was closed for summer vacation, but we invited 30 girls to do hands-on optics, and Joe was there. Temperature was 44 centigrade, and there was a security risk to university. And when I planned to pick up Joe from the airport, the flight was diverted to Karachi, and he came very late, and I carried his breakfast, his toothpaste, and a comb and a towel to department. That was the story of Joe. So rest
Yeah.
Joe can tell you. The rest Joe can tell you his visits to Fatma Jana University and
Yeah.
okay.
Well, okay. No, actually, yeah, it was really hot. It was a Taliban threat, yeah, apparently. And but I kind of remember that even though it's 44 degrees, more or less, uh, without any air conditioning, of course. We couldn't get these young women away. We actually broke for lunch, and they all left early. So where'd they go? And they went back to just start handling stuff again. So
Yeah.
anyway, couldn't keep them away. So it was really great. And also the what was her name? The Gina, the sister.
Yeah.
What was her name? Imrana. Sorry,
Who's
Fatima.
Fatima?
Fatima
Yeah.
Gina. Yeah. so that at that university was actually also very interesting, um, because it's entirely women
Yeah,
university.
yeah.
But
You've been there twice, I think. You've been there twice with me. We went
yeah,
there twice. Yeah.
yeah. But I always thought they had a nice radio, the broadcasting program there,
Yeah.
and so I always thought it'd be nice to set up something between broadcasting at Fatima Gina University and some other university, because they could do whether
Yeah,
it was.
because we are planning to start with the physics without frontier, physics without border or frontier. What is that? Because with Soabi University and Mardan University, let's see how things will go. So I will be taking you and Natasha on board for that. So, but Joe was the actual force for me. He always advised me to document your activities, take photos. But photos usually for if somebody is doing optics, you need a night vision camera to take photo of that process. Otherwise, it's totally dark. So, the best picture I have is the one Joe took in 2016. So there are a lot of photos and some because it was after Eid and some girls were wearing henna and some were doing that. So and one of those photo was selected on for an SPI poster that was hanged in UNESCO building. So those were three
Yeah, you've
dollars.
said about this. But I was
Yeah.
going to ask you guys actually, what do you think the best types? Because optics, I think we've been talking a little bit about this and the idea that optics is a really good kind of vehicle to get people interested in physics. What sorts of activities, out of all the different types of activities that you've done, the different optics kits that you've used, what do you think worked the best for you guys?
You're asking me? Or I
Any
will
of
ask
you,
you,
anyone
Zishan.
can.
Zishan, would you like to give an answer from a student perspective? Unmute yourself, Zishan.
Yes. Um,
Yeah.
the question is that what kind of activities help students to get
Yes. Yeah,
more
I would say like
interested?
so in your opinion, what do you think gets people more hooked or is the best type of thing to use in these kind of where you're taking this equipment quite long distances?
Well, it depends whether we are actually teaching the kids, we are performing in front of the kids or in front of the graduate students. If I talk about my recent activity that we performed in front of Fatma Jinnah Women University students, that was on Fourier optics. So we've all heard of Fourier transform. It's some kind of mathematical tool, and most of the students, I can tell the students' perspective, most of the student can't even imagine it. So when I introduced a setup that this is a Fourier optic setup, I introduced each and everything. They understood it well. That this is a polarizer. This is an LED source. And when I actually made sense of the Fourier transform, they were all like, now I can understand. Now I can visualize what was actually happening in that formula of the mathematics. So if we are teaching the graduate students, we can shift ourselves to these equipments, interferometer and Fourier optics, and one or two others. But if we are more prone to catch ninth or eighth standard students, we usually show them diffraction of light, how light actually comes to us, how we perceive color, and these things. First, there's a way of Ma'am Imrana. First, they ask the question, "How do you see color?" And everyone says some random stuff that it's like this and it's like that. And then when we actually show them that this is light, this is color, and how we can use light. Um, for example, we have a Fourier fiber optic cable. We show them this is how our internet is working. This is how we use light in ultra fast communications. So this attracts the student more towards science and information technology. So this is, I think, our main goal is to give them a sense that there are more things in developing in science nowadays. So you shift their local thoughts or cultural thoughts towards the scientific behavior, the scientific perspective. That because we are actually preaching or teaching in that area where the students are actually bound towards the cultural thought, that they don't even know how optics is actually working. So we give them an idea that it's not magic to use a cell phone or make a video call in different countries. So you it's not magically happening. We actually can create this stuff, and this intuition makes this idea gives them the intuition so that they can make this too. They can come into the science field as well. They are not as far behind from the we can say developed countries, so they can make their what we can say, they can make their efforts towards the science as well. So this is the students perspective. I think my English didn't occur as a
No, no, no.
No, 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 that's perfect. That's really interesting.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I
Nimra?
would like to add one more thing, that the
Okay,
most
please.
effective way is, in my opinion, it's in the person and with the instrument. And if most of the students can really do hands-on, that really motivates the students.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. So actually, that's
Yeah.
quite an interesting point there, that you have to
So,
be. Do you have a lot of hands-on stuff versus kind
mm,
of top-down activities?
no,
Dr.
I
Nana
told
can
you.
tell better now.
Yeah, I showed in one of the slides that I have 10 photo Explore Optics kit. I have 10 Photonic Explorer given by Joe. That is really good. But still, if you are dealing with 200 students at a time, you don't allow all of them to do the hands-on. And we usually ask the last 2 semesters, depending upon the strength, that they can come and do hands-on. Because usually what happens is something always gone missing. I have 300 diffraction glasses. Now I have 30. So slowly, slowly in those activities, they disappear. Even if you're telling them, look, I have this and we can do that. So these are the thing. And then the good thing about optics is you can relate that, like for example, colors. If you're doing for 7 or 8 graders, you can tell them, okay, this is an M&M. If you go out, and it is dark, what is the color of the grass, why the sky is blue, those kind of things, and then you relate that, then you perform experiment. Look, we have a rectangular water tank. We show them how the blue light is scattering first and these, without using big words. And then, for example, this year is International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. So for graduate or undergraduate student, you can tell them your quantum technology is actually in your hand, your smartphones. And now, as Pakistan is using a lot of solar panels for electricity, so they can relate the things around us. And internet is part of everybody's life these days, because they don't, if there is no cooked food at home, they don't bother. If there is internet connection is gone, that it is alarming for children. Scott, would you like to say something? Joe, you know Scott, my uncle.
Yeah, right. Hi,
Joe,
Scott.
Joe, it's nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Well, so first of all, Imrana, this is just, it's all really impressive. I don't know how you do it all. I'm sorry to hear about the sort of recent uh, struggles with funding, but it's impressive how you always make things work. As far as things disappearing from the demo kits, you have my sympathies. It happens everywhere all the time. Um, but I'm still just blown away at the fact that you can do interferometry demos under difficult circumstances. Because I have students who struggle to get interferometry experiments going on an optical table in a vibration isolated lab, and it's just really amazing. I was just as we were talking, going to type a message to Nadir. Nadir, I'm at Stony Brook University, and we actually have a research station in Kenya in the Turkana Basin, and I'd really like to be in touch with you. And so I'll send you a message separately just to touch base with you. Imrana, thanks. We're, by the way, Imrana, at Stony Brook University, we were just awarded or uh, put in for in the New York State budget a $300 million quantum science center. And so it's New York State and money moves very, very slowly, but I'm very optimistic about quantum science coming out of my university and hope we can find ways to collaborate going forward.
Okay. Thank you so much. Look,
May I
about the,
ask
yeah,
something?
yeah, sure, Adila. Adila is one of my first volunteers. Okay, Adila, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to add my opinion as a teacher's perspective. I taught my students all the optics topics, and it was very difficult for them to digest those difficult topics. Although they have seen a lot of videos on YouTube, but it was much difficult for them to digest those concepts. So I called my mentor, Ma'am Imrana, and the team to my school, and after they did hands-on experiences, hands-on activities, it was very much easy for them to understand those concepts. So it helped a lot my students.
Thanks, Adila. It was a pleasure to be there. So we want to go everywhere, actually, but let's see. And Scott, according to you, because I tried to make, with the help of Carlo, those 3D interferometer, I'm sure they will not be very stable like the educational kit given by Thor Lab, but there is something to show. You know, the idea of why I get these two kits, because in 21 or 22, Joe, we did Winter College on LiDAR. And for that, because it was online, all of my undergraduate students were supposed to participate. During that, I didn't have anything. So I made toy models. It was gyros, LiDAR. It was using those toys. So at that time, John Howell was ICO president. He felt so bad about me that I'm making those toys, but still it can communicate the idea, the basic principle, if you are not able to see the fringes or everything, like in Michelson interferometer. And then he arranged a meeting with the Thor Lab in America. And they asked me to select anything between 10,000 euro. So I selected these two educational kits. And then I'm really happy that their Thor Labs German office in Germany, they supported me a lot because it was duty delivery paid, but still it was held in custom in Lahore for 2 months. So, but I'm happy that we have something original that we can show really serious students. But I hope, and with the help of Zishan and my new team, that we can make something good with this 3D printed setup. And I'm sure there will be something manageable, but at least that I can carry to Swabi, Mardan, and everything. Because when we went to Gilgit, the main problem is carrying batteries. You cannot book batteries in your booked luggage. You cannot hand carry those batteries you need for your LEDs, for your laser diodes and everything. So there is always a chaos at the airport if you are doing hand carry those things. So this time we booked them for Gilgit. I booked all those batteries because they are not available in the local market in northern area. I booked on bus 2 days before our departure. And then we booked them back because it's not allowed to take it on plane. So there are these kind of, but there is always a solution if you want to find a solution. So anybody else, Nimra? Okay, Charlotte, I think it's the time. Charlotte, your speaker is.
Oops. Okay, you can tell it's the afternoon here. Thank you very, very much, everyone, for joining us, and also Imrana and her team for talking. I think this is a perfect way to kick off our season of talks, and I'm just very, very proud and honoured to have everyone here talking about this. I think this was really fantastic and very interesting, I think, for everyone, and also very pleased that that we've actually had someone come on and actually make a connection potentially that could be useful to them. So very, very happy. Oh,
there is a question by Joe. Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, I just wanted to just add one more thing. You ask about optics, why optics, or is it better as opposed to something else? You know, one of the considerations for you doing optics is that it's cheap. It's cheap
Yeah.
everywhere. So if you need a lens, you can use eyeglass lenses. You can get those. If you got a lens from a educational supply house, it would cost you a fortune, well, small fortune. But if you got it from an just got eyeglass blanks, there's really cheap, the same thing. And so you can
Yeah,
do this,
exactly.
you know, diffraction gratings or CDs. And so you can, lasers are less than $1, depending on where you get them. Maybe just a little laser pointer. So almost everything you need is cheap. And so it's, you don't even need light rails. You don't need things to put the lenses on to change the distance. You can use the yardstick or a meter stick with putty, and it works just as well. And in fact, it sometimes works even better to take the mystery away, not to have some complicated piece of equipment that then looks kind of mysterious, just a yardstick with putty and with the eyeglass blank stuck in it, and they still get the same result. And then I think they understand, you know, they're not looking at the mysterious part of it. They understand just the really what's going on. And even to understand what a lens does, you know, that's often very it seems very complicated, and lenses aren't complicated at all. And so, in fact, most students don't understand what lenses are. So even starting there is something. And you know, how does your eye work? Because everybody's got a pair of eyes. You don't need to go to you know, you can just use what you have in your own body. And even understanding what that does actually is a way to kind of you know, inspire their curiosity, because it's something they probably don't always think about what the eye does. They just know it works. But you know, you can actually show that too. Not the brain part. That's a little bit more, but just the optics part. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in because it's basically it's cheap, and these kits are really cheap relative to what you get, and you don't need computers because if you do mechanics, then you got air rails, and you know you usually have to plot things up, your results up to actually have anything, and you don't need that with optics. So at any rate, it's cheap. You don't need a lot, and I think and you can also show quantum physics. So you know, just pull out an LED, and that's already showing quantum. So so at any rate, there's a lot of advantages to optics, and all the colors. Of course, everybody likes colors. You know, so it's pleasing, aesthetically pleasing. The only thing more aesthetically pleasing would be to do fluid dynamics, but okay. But yeah, at any rate. And then, you know, throwing in 3D printers, you know, this is really great because the 3D printers that Carlo has, you know, we had these students coming up from Algeria, from Morocco and Palestine. You know, these are really, I was amazed how cheap they are. But, you know, once you assemble them, you get to do that yourself, and you make these things. You know, that makes it even more fun to actually make some of the stuff you're going to need to do an experiment. So you don't have to make it complicated. And again, it depends on, like somebody, Zishan said, you know, it depends on who you're talking to. But you know, if you're talking to undergraduate on down, basically high school, middle school, then you know, you really want to keep it you want to keep it simple, and but not the concepts, just the equipment. Okay, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Okay.
Yes, Carlo has raised hand. Yes, Carlo, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to add one thing to what Joe said. Yeah, I think talking about making such type of devices on a budget, There are other technologies that I will like to explore other than 3D printing to make a larger number of devices. 3D printing is okay, it's very cheap, but it's also very slow. So sometimes making 100 pieces take weeks or so. I was very recently in Rome for the Maker Faire Rome, and there was one professor from the National Research Council of Italy, and they were showing this type. I have only the picture here. Is a game for teaching optics to young children. Sorry, maybe this is easier.
Yeah.
So it is done with acrylic glass, so it's plastic sheet cut on a laser cutter, and some wood also cut on laser cutter, and very cheap laser generators, the 50 cents one, and batteries. So you have like a button that you press, the red and the green button, and so you switch on the laser, and maybe I don't know, and the laser go through lenses that are cut out of acrylic. They are expanding, they are reducing the beam, and they are changing the direction, and they have to reach a target. The target is a small star, like, and so they have to brighten the star. It's for small children. It's not an experiment. It's not for teaching high-level optics, but it's a game that can engage people, and the cost of this is maybe $2 to $3 for one set that can be easily made in large quantities as well. So I would like to explore also this type of even cheaper, I would say even simpler type of, they are not experiment, but they can be related to, say, motivational type of activities for
Yeah.
children. And anyway, congratulations for everything you have done. It is impressive what Imrana has done. I'm
Thank
always
you so much,
astonished
Carlo.
by the
Thank
results
you
and
so
the
much.
numbers
Thanks for your help.
that she achieved.
Thank you. So things are like for this young student, for example, at times we need gummy bear, and we also need M&Ms, but we need imported M&Ms and imported gummy bears, because in Pakistan you have only 2 or 3 colors M&Ms, and you don't have any brown and oranges, because that's another part. So same is with the gummy bear, that if you want to show absorption, transmission, and those kind of things, of course you need those gummy bear.
You need,
So we can maybe,
M&Ms for graduate students too,
yeah, because, but
and
we can,
pizza.
yeah. So maybe Carlo can come up with some idea of replacing those gummy bear with some kind of material that can show absorption, transmission, maybe. We can have some pieces in the shape of gummy bear or made of some kind of blurry material that can show green is absorbed or not, or reflected back or transmitted. So it's done, Charlotte?
I think so. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming. It's been a brilliant meeting, brilliant discussion. Very
Thank you
nice.
so much, Scott and Joe and Carlo, for coming. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay,
All right.
take
See
care,
you guys.
everyone.
Imrana. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
You're
Take care.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye.